Yo, what is going on, guys? Got an absolutely hilarious video for you here today that was sent to me. And this is a woman in her room, making her TikTok videos as she normally does. But she is on here because she is so alone, okay? She cannot get a man to commit to her. She's just the romantic type who can't seem to find a man. And this is a struggle that a lot of modern women are having, guys, is despite the fact that they are so romantic, caring, empathetic, and they bring a lot to the relationship, no man seems to want them. So we're going to be investigating that today. Guys, today's video clip was sent to me by MaverickMan101. I'm going to leave a link to his channel in the video description and the pinned comment, so make sure you go and check him out. And let's just jump into some of the nonsense that this woman says, and we'll break it all down. Don't forget to leave your comments.
So I think the most frustrating thing about dating for me in the past 4 years has just been the lack of control that I'm able to have over my dating life and over what happens in my dating life. Basically, I've always just been a lover girl, and I'm the type of person that likes to go after what I want, and I feel like I'm very open-minded, and I feel like I see the best in people. But I've just been having the worst luck in the past 4 years to the point where I just feel like it's just time for the lover girl in me to die, and I'm just honestly done with dating, and I don't want to date anymore, finally. I feel like usually
Okay, so let's stop it there. This woman has been dating for the past 4 years. I guarantee you this woman is not celibate. She's been hooking up with dudes for the past 4 years. And this is the funniest part about the clip, guys, is she says that she's alone, she's done with dating. But the funniest part is she says that it's all apparently completely out of her control, and it's just luck-based, okay? Just completely luck, just completely random, and she's just getting screwed over by dudes. Now, I make this point every time, guys, women complain about men and how unlucky they get. But again, imagine you had a father, okay? And that father, let's just say you're a father, for example, even if you're not, just hypothetically, you would be able to pick a good man for your daughter, okay? But when women go out here and they're dating, they just cannot do it, guys. Like, they won't be able to choose a man that will give them commitment. They have no idea how to get commitment from said man, and it's just a complete disaster. You take a father, he'll be like, yep, go with that one. He's the choice. But they might not necessarily want him. The women want the tall guys. They want the attractive guys, the guys that make a lot of money. These women are not romantic, guys. As much as they tell you that they're just looking for love, they're looking for love from the dudes who are at the top, so to speak.
And I'm just honestly done with dating, and I don't want to date anymore, finally. I feel like usually in the past, after my breakups, I would be sad for like a little bit, but then I'd be kind of like ready to go back on the apps and ready to go meet new people. And there was always like a possibility of like, oh, well, there has to be like somebody else out there, right? Like there has to be somebody better out there for me. And I still always never really gave up. In the past 4 years, I've dated 3 people seriously, and all of them somehow turned out to be emotionally unavailable or avoidant. And I didn't really even know what that meant until I was like 23 and dating again after my long-term relationship. And the first person I dated afterwards ended up being emotionally unavailable / avoidant. And we had like a regular talking stage, and then we dated officially for like a month and a half, and then suddenly they're like, oh, never mind, like I just realized I'm not ready for a relationship. It's just so annoying.
Okay, so let's pause it here. This woman is talking, guys, I haven't got this video on 1.5 or 2 times speed or anything. She's just talking this fast. I don't think she's sped up. She just talks this fast. That's insane. That's worse than me when I've had too much coffee, man. This woman talks so incredibly fast. Okay, so here's the thing. She's dating a whole bunch of dudes. The dudes just don't want to seem to give up commitment, or if they do, it's only for a short period of time, and so on. And this just tells me, again, guys, that these women are chasing dudes who have zero interest in them. But at the same time, guys, she will sit there and she will try and tell you that she's romantic, okay? She's just looking for love. That's not the case whatsoever. If these women were actually looking for love, if they were actually romantic, number one, they would do romantic things for men. But number two, they would actually choose the men that were interested in them. Guys, it is amazing to me, right, how little self-respect modern women display for themselves. They'll go out there, they'll give their bodies to random dudes, not require any sort of commitment whatsoever. They'll go and hook up with a whole bunch of dudes. They'll post questionable photos of themselves to Instagram. Just no self-respect whatsoever. And then at the end of it, they'll complain about being lonely. It's amazing. It really is. And I'm the one that doesn't like women, apparently, if I tell them that it's silly what they're doing,
annoying because in that breakup, the ex was like, yeah, I never really wanted to get into a long-term relationship, but I did get into one with you anyway because I thought that maybe I'd get over the fact that I didn't want to be in one, but I never did. And in my head, I was just like, why would you willingly like put me through all this when you know that I wanted a long-term relationship and that I was serious? I was like, I will make sure to like not date an avoidant person. So I was like, okay, next time I'm going to make sure that the person that I date is open to commitment, says they want a long-term relationship, says they want marriage, says they want a family. I'm going to make sure that they put in effort and like pursue me. Next year, I dated somebody who was in his 30s. He was like 32, I believe. And right off the bat, he was like, yep, I'm looking for something serious. I want a family. I want marriage one day. And so things started off like serious between us. Met all the married friends, like talked about moving in with him temporarily, treated me very well, was like romantic, was like very thoughtful and caring, was very supportive.
I just want to stop it here for a second, guys, just to take in a moment, take in for a moment, excuse me, how damn easy dating is for women. Like I've been listening to this woman for a full 2 minutes. I don't find her to be particularly tolerable. I don't mean to be rude. That's just me personally, guys. I'm already losing my marbles. This woman has talked for 2 minutes straight, just full, 200 words, 200 words a minute. It's like, relax. Okay. But this woman literally can go out there and just get a man like that. A dude who's ready to commit, who's going to give her things and so on and so forth. Now, we're probably going to find out that this dude wasn't actually about it. And here's the thing, guys. I guarantee you with all of these situations that she's bringing up, she's not actually securing the commitment up front. What she's doing is she's having these discussions, the men are telling her what she wants to hear, and then she's surprised when the rug gets pulled out from underneath her, even though there was no rug there to begin with. Because dudes, I'll straight up say it, man, dudes will lie to women. They absolutely will. People lie to each other all the damn time. Men will lie to women, say that they're interested in serious commitment, and then not follow through just because they want to have some bedroom fun. And I think that's a scummy thing to do, personally. I don't think men should be doing that. But let's not ignore reality here. And also, it's fairly obvious. The way you sniff this out, by the way, is number one, you just use your brain. Maybe don't swipe on the dudes who are highly attractive, who have all of the options. But number two, actually secure the commitment. Don't just give your body to him because he gave you some nice words, okay? Use a bit more common sense than that. But of course, women don't do this.
Even when I told my friends like what he would do for me or like how he's treating me, they'd be like, oh my God, like he must really like you. He must be head over heels for you. It got to the point where it was time to commit to the relationship and to put a label on it. And
okay, this is exactly, guys, this is exactly what I was talking about. I haven't even watched this video before, okay? So this dude was maybe buying her things. Maybe he had a lot of money and he didn't even care. Buying her things, treating her well, telling her that, he was interested in marriage and so on and whatever. And it turns out he wanted nothing serious to do with her whatsoever. This is why it's important as women to secure the commitment up front. If you cannot get commitment from a man, I don't know what other phrase to use here, but you simply can't afford him. You're just shopping out of your price range. And I have to stress, I don't mean with money, okay? Dudes don't care about your money. I just mean that you can't lock down the dude. Give up. Don't waste your time. If you can't get commitment from a dude straight up, then it was never going to work anyway. Women just like, guys, they fall in love with the image. They're like, ooh, maybe I can get this guy. He's got a lot of money. He's, it sounds like he wants a family with me. He's rich, he's attractive, he's tall. But the thing is, they haven't even secured commitment, guys. They see the pretty picture, and so they just get baited and they chase the dude. It's kind of like men out here chasing women who are nice to them, even though it means completely nothing, and women will just be nice to your face, even if they don't like you whatsoever. I mean, other women know this. This happens women to women all of the time. But yeah, so she had no relationship, she had no commitment whatsoever, and then she's sad because she felt lied to by the guy, which again, he did, and it's a bad thing to do, in my opinion. But let's not pretend like this wasn't completely obvious.
And he just couldn't do it because he said titles made him uncomfortable. Felt so misled that this person didn't really want to put a label on things after all of that had transpired. And I was heartbroken again, but I was okay, how can I prevent this situation from happening in the future? And I was like, okay, next time, on top of wanting somebody who is serious and wants commitment, I'm going to make sure that that person also has a history of long-term relationships, has some sort of like emotional intelligence and emotional maturity, has some sort of conflict resolution skills, like, is comfortable committing to the label of boyfriend and girlfriend, is not going to put that off for any reason.
Yeah, see, that last part was the most important. All of this talk about emotional intelligence, just stop it. Stop it, okay? The bottom line is this. If you cannot get the commitment from the man before you give your body to him, you see, this is why back in the day people would get married, okay? And then the intimacy and such would come after, okay? Like, people wouldn't be walking around with, like, you know, having been with 57 different men or 57 different women or whatever the case may be. You know, relationships were a lot more likely to work out. And women wouldn't have such a low bar. Because the thing is, guys, is these women have zero self-respect. The dude's attractive enough, makes enough money, tells her what she wants to hear. I mean, oftentimes they don't even have to do that. And she'll give her body to him. Which is a completely stupid move by women, but they do this over and over. And every time this happens, by the way, what they do in their head is they raise their standards. So by the time you get the dude number 47, maybe you're lucky number 47. Okay, we got James over here. No offense to the Jameses out there who are watching this, right? You get to number 47, James, and her list of requirements for James are so incredibly high. You know, here's all of the things that you have to do, James, because I know my worth. It's like, oh my goodness, man.
When I got to New York, I was going on dates and I was finding guys that were like more open and seemed more like emotionally available. I had to end things with like 3 guys because they all had just broken up with their ex, and I was like, what are you even doing on this app? Like, I can't talk to people like you. It's like, I don't want another emotionally unavailable man. And I was just like, okay, maybe the dating apps are just really full of avoidant or emotionally unavailable people. So I'm going to go.
Wait, she broke up with multiple dudes? We're missing a lot of context here.
Meet somebody in real life. So then on a fateful day, I went to Central Park and I hit on a guy by asking him for a poop bag, and I went on a date with this guy, and I was like, fine, but I could also tell from my past experiences that he was probably avoidant. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna swerve this guy too, because I truly in my heart only want to date somebody who's emotionally available. And in a few months I hit on somebody in a cafe and everything suddenly like started to go really well. I felt like I vetted this person so hard. I got their relationship history and found out that they had been in a really long-term relationship. I found out that they were like in therapy and had been in couples counseling, and that they really valued emotional intelligence and conflict resolution in a partner. So I was like, okay, if
oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I just have to pause because we're just talking so much. Okay, so what does she do? She goes out there, she gets on a bunch of apps, she breaks up with a bunch of dudes. I don't know. Now we're over in New York City because that's where all of the level-headed single women are. And so we go over to New York City and now we're just hitting on poor dudes. But the first one wasn't good enough, you know, had to throw him out because he didn't have emotional intelligence. I mean, these are all just buzzwords, man. Like, it's emotional intelligence, like, please. So now we've hit on this latest guy, and she's done vetting, okay? Oh, wow, the man, he's in therapy, right? Oh, he's had previous girlfriends. And I find this point to be funny because what this woman thinks in her head is like, oh, well, if he's had previous girlfriends, this should be an easy one for me, right? Because he'll make me his girlfriend, no problem. But the thing that a lot of these women don't realize is that men actually have standards too, particularly the ones that have a lot of options. And so what happens is, just because he had a relationship previously does not mean that he's actually going to want a serious one with you.
If he really wants somebody who has good conflict resolution skills and he really values somebody who is emotionally intelligent and emotionally mature, then he must have those qualities himself, because it's kind of crazy to expect for a partner to have those things but not have them yourself, right? I was like, there's no way somebody would be like that, right? I was wrong. But this person was like so consistent in their words and actions, treated me so well, better than anyone had in my entire life. I thought he was the one. Even the way he looked at me like with heart eyes, and literally like all my friends and people on the internet were like, oh my god, like he's in love with you, like he's head over heels for you, he's obsessed with you, just based on the way he looks at you and based on all the things he does for you.
Okay, let me stop it here again. This woman hasn't learned anything, man. She hasn't understood anything whatsoever. And this is the crazy part about women, guys, is they will just get into I call these, well, everyone calls these this, right? But they get into situationships with many men consecutively for extended periods of time. And their justification for it is like, well, he was treating me so well. Okay, any dude can go out here and buy you flowers or whatever. It doesn't actually mean that the dude cares about you. A lot of these guys are just doing this crap because they want to have fun. They don't actually want to commit to you. And so this woman, she's like, oh, you know, this handsome guy, he calls me a lot and we talk on the phone, or maybe he gets me gifts. This should be so easy to get a relationship out of him. And then they realize, well, you know, like months down the line, that the dude never wanted anything serious to begin with. Guys, at a certain point, this is just an IQ check. It really is. Now, I'm not saying that as the brightest person to ever walk the face of the planet, okay? But if you consistently do this same mistake over and over again, and you tell me that you're learning, but you're clearly not, this is just straight up an IQ check, okay? Because the thing is, anyone who thinks objectively about the situation understands that you're not learning anything whatsoever. This woman is going out here, she's believing the words that all of these bad boys tell her on dating apps or wherever she happens to hit on them at, and she's just getting played every single time. I have said this many times, guys, but it is not hard as a woman to have a successful dating life whatsoever, but they still manage to completely screw it up. It's amazing.
And I met all his married friends, and like we talked about the future, and it was all reciprocal, and it felt so great, only to find out that this person was also emotionally unavailable at the very end. And it's just like, oh my gosh, like after this last time, that was my final straw. I spent so much time specifically trying to avoid avoidant men and avoid emotionally unavailable men. And the only reason that I even was attracted to this person in the first place is because they seemed so emotionally open. They were able to be so vulnerable. They were able to have so many in-depth like conversations, and I felt like our emotional connection was so good.
Oh my goodness. This woman is using, you know, she's throwing around all of these buzzwords, guys, like connection and emotional intelligence and emotional availability. This woman should bundle all of these words together and just throw them out of her vocabulary. These are such stupid terms. They realistically are so vague and they mean absolutely nothing. They contribute zero to solving her problem whatsoever. But again, guys, these women just actively, they love having problems, don't they? You know, like some people, man, will just sit here and they will talk endlessly about their problems, but they actually, you know, when you look at their actions, they clearly have no desire to fix them whatsoever. This woman does not want to go out there and find love and find a relationship. She could go out there and find it on a random Tuesday if she wanted to. But the problem is she can't get what she wants out of the men that she desires. That's really the problem. Absolutely amazing. I don't feel any empathy for women like this, guys. This is a sob story that so many women will try and tell you. You know, they just can't get commitment and they're just lover girls and whatever the case may be. So she's throwing around all these terms like emotional intelligence, emotional availability, and so on. But really what it means is she couldn't get commitment from the man. That's all that it means. The man would not give commitment. It sounded like he was going to commit to her, but he didn't want anything serious with her whatsoever. That is the problem that modern women are having. The quality of men that they want, they cannot secure commitment from.
And they committed to the label very easily and acted very sure, and their words and actions aligned, and like the way they looked at me and like all the things they did for me, I was like, surely this person is emotionally available. You can ask them, are you looking for a relationship? Like, do you feel like you're ready for a relationship? And they can say yes, but then, you know, either they lie or they just are so not self-aware that they don't even realize that they aren't ready for a relationship and they don't want one. So then,
I mean, here's the thing. A lot of these guys, you know, there's a good portion of them that are ready for a relationship, that do want to have a family, that do want to have a wife or whatever the case may be, even though marriage is a scam for men. What this woman fails to realize is that these guys have so many options and they don't want a relationship with you. Okay? They might actually want a relationship. They might be telling the truth. But the difference is, do they want a relationship with you? That's what you should be asking. Hey, you know, will you be in a relationship with me? Will you be my boyfriend? Then you'll get the real answer very quickly. But women don't want the real answer, guys. They would rather live in the fantasy land for as long as possible and then be surprised when the dude actually had no interest in committing to them whatsoever.
And they just drag you through this whole thing, only for you to find out at the very end that they're actually emotionally unavailable. I feel like I've been so tricked and misled, and I've just been used as a stepping stone for all these men to discover things about themselves and discover that they're emotionally unavailable and discover the things they need to work on to be a better partner and a better relationship.
Yeah, see, it's all a bunch of nonsense, by the way. These guys are just lying to you. They knew from minute one that you were not. They probably saw your Instagram and were like, nope, not wife material. Nope, not girlfriend material. That's what they do. You know, men have their preferences as much as women have their own, guys. You know, women will kind of think that you're someone worth screwing around with or someone not. Women will just put you in different buckets immediately. They'll put you in buckets, okay? Men will put women in buckets as well. They'll go, okay, she's for fun, recreational use only, or she's worth committing to. And women don't understand, guys, like, it doesn't take men very long whatsoever to put you in a particular box. And that's what these men are doing to these women. They're like, nope, not this one. No thanks. Next.
Always like, oh my god, I learned so many things. I don't regret the time we had together. And in my head, I'm just like, well, I do regret the time we had together, and I don't feel like I benefited that much. I feel like the only result that I got from these relationships is I just got more trauma, and I got more trust issues, and I got more anxiety. How am I?
Yep. So now, right, the next guy who you're going to have higher standards for, now you bring more baggage and emotional instability to.
Supposed to go on and date somebody else when, like, I don't even feel like I can trust words, actions, the way someone looks at you. Can't trust anything because some people will just like switch on you in just a second, and it's like, okay, like, I couldn't have predicted this. I couldn't have seen it coming. Everything was right. There were so many green flags, and then suddenly it was over just like that. What?
No. This is what no accountability looks like, guys. This woman could have absolutely seen this coming. I guarantee you. Like, but they just want to be the victim, man. They want to feel like they have no power, because then it takes all of the accountability off of them and puts it on to the evil men. Now, I will say this, guys. I don't think it's good to be lying to women. I don't think it's good to be lying in general. Even if you're a bad person, I think lying, moral arguments aside, like, lying takes a lot of effort. you know what I'm saying? So even if you're a psychopath watching this video, lying to people takes a lot of effort, because then you have to continue to lie and you have to remember it's like, no, man. You know what I'm saying? Moral arguments aside, then you get into the moral arguments, and obviously it's just wrong to be lying to people. But let's not pretend like this is not incredibly obvious, guys. Incredibly damn obvious. Like, these women are actively wasting their own times. You mean to tell me that you couldn't figure it out, that this guy clearly wasn't interested in you? Oh, but he bought you flowers and he looked at you a particular way and he said he maybe wanted marriage one day. Like, come on. Use a bit of our brain here, man.
What the heck could I even have done to prevent this situation other than just, like, I don't know, not trusting the person or not investing in the person? And it's like, if you don't really invest in somebody that much for the first like couple months or so until you get into like a major conflict or something, it's like, are you even like really fully enjoying that experience if you're kind of like having one foot out the door at all times? I don't know if that's like really authentic to me, but I guess that's the only thing I could have done in this situation, is to just not get invested and not really trust like the words or actions that were happening. It doesn't.
No, see, here's the solution to your problem, madam. Not that this woman will ever listen to this video or ever care. Here's the solution. Secure the commitment up front before any sort of intimacy whatsoever. Like, yes, if the guy just randomly buys you a whole bunch of gifts and he says that he's maybe interested in a relationship in the future, he wants to get married, he wants to have kids and blah, blah, blah. None of these things mean that he wants to have these things with you. Get secure commitment from the man first. That is step number one. Step number two, use your brain and understand that the men who have a bucket load of options on dating applications you have zero leverage over them, and the odds of them actually choosing to you, not cheating on you, being faithful, and so on, are significantly slimmer. Okay, like, guys, if you watch these women actually swipe on dating applications, man, they are only swiping on a very small percentage of men. They might think that they're giving dudes a chance and they're open-minded. No, they're not. They're absolutely not. You sit down, you watch this woman swipe on a dating application, guys. Like, you get her point of view, and you'll be like, yeah, of course. Of course. You look at the dudes that she actually messages and actually responds to. Yeah, man. It's like, it's so damn obvious. These dudes have a bucket load of options. They're clearly not going to commit to you. And no, you can't trust what they're saying. Okay, get the commitment up front, choose the men better. But of course, you know, she doesn't want to choose the guy who's maybe 5'9" because that would be lowering her standards. Never settle, queen. You'll be fine.
Matter how hard I vet, like what I do. It doesn't matter how hard I try. If somebody wants to deceive me, or if somebody is so not self-aware that they don't recognize that they're emotionally unavailable, they are going to deceive me, and I'm not going to be able to do anything about that unless I actively decide to not really trust them and not trust their words or their actions until a certain point, which I don't even know when that would happen, because I've read so many stories online about people being blindsided by avoidance after like 6 months, a year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years in marriage. What the heck is the point of even dating and like falling in love and loving somebody if that love has no security, and if that love is not consistent, if someone can just change their mind in 1 second and like walk away so easily? Like,
okay, so first of all, the things that this woman is describing right here, right? She's saying, oh, dudes just randomly leave marriages. Right? They randomly leave relationships. Okay, let's slow down a bit, bucko. You haven't even got a relationship out of a dude properly yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the ones that you have, like, let's be real about it, probably weren't the best choices. If the dude a bit over a month in the relationship was like, nah, not really, no thanks. These women have such terrible choices in men. They make terrible decisions, right? The men who are actually going to give them commitment are completely invisible. She's above them, right? And then not only that, guys, these women actively get into situationships that last months at a time. Dating with no commitment, dating with no label. How do I feel sympathy, guys, for a woman who goes out there and gives her body to a dude for like 3 to 4 months and then is like, wow, I'm so blindsided that the dude didn't want to give me commitment? It's complete nonsense. Also, the odds of a dude just dipping randomly because he feels like it into a long-term relationship, again, are significantly lowered. Also, they are even more lowered when you actually choose the correct man. But of course, like, guys, when this woman is out here, excuse me as I'm losing my voice, when this woman is out here approaching men, do you really think she's out there approaching dudes who are on the shorter side? Do you think that she's approaching the dudes who don't look particularly handsome? Do you think that she's approaching the guys who, you know, maybe look like they don't have a whole lot of money, for example? I mean, maybe to the last one because she's kind of younger, but she still mentions looking for security and things like this. Again, guys, the average dude, the dudes who's actually on her level, as it were, completely invisible.
Like, what's the point in even investing and trying for a love like that? I don't want a love that switches off after like a conflict, or that just changes after I ask for a need to be met, or after I set a boundary. Like, I don't want a love like that. Like, that love is not like valuable to me. I feel absolutely helpless. Like, with this last relationship, like, I was so attracted to the fact that he seemed emotionally available, but if he had just acted like his real self the whole time, I would have never dated him. I feel like the only way for me to be in a relationship and like not get hurt in this day and age is for me to enter relationships not really investing that much, and just kind of always having an exit plan and like a strategy to leave, and like have one foot out the door and just be like anticipating. It's just like, what the hell is the point of entering a relationship if you can't even like trust the other person, and if there's no sense of security, and if you have one foot out the door at all times? Like, what the hell is the point of that? But it's starting to seem like that's the only mindset I could possibly have, so that I don't get hurt, or so I don't get bamboozled by these men that act emotionally available for the first couple months and then suddenly become emotionally unavailable after like a second. Whether I pursue somebody or whether they don't pursue me, it doesn't matter. The result is the same. Whether I meet somebody on a dating app or I don't, the result is the same.
What these women don't understand, by the way, is they're still selecting the dudes regardless of whether or not they approach or whether or not the men approach them. You know, at the end of the day, guys, the women are the selectors. They are the ones with all of the options. They are the ones with all of the choices, and they still manage to completely screw it up. Guys, I'm telling you, after this video, go and watch some like dating app experiments and things like this, ones that show women who are actually swiping and things like this. Like, go and look at the swiping statistics that these applications like Tinder and stuff have released publicly, man. It's insane. The types of dudes that women are actually interested in, very, very small percentage. And then they complain when they get played by them. Like, it's a complete and utter joke, man. But guys, we're going to be leaving today's episode there. I need to be heading out soon, so don't forget to leave your thoughts and your comments. Make sure you guys take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all in the next one. Peace.